Hi, and thanks for taking the time to view our video on just how easy it is to set up, deploy, and obtain full network performance monitoring with AppNeta's PathView Cloud solution. I'm Shane, and I'm one of the systems engineers here at AppNeta. And what I'm going to show you in this video is how to set up PathView Cloud with our USB key configuration method. Now, this is the easiest of the two configuration methods available, and all of this can be completed in under 10 minutes. Now, this method requires the use of a FAT32 formatted USB key, which we ship with all of our appliances. Now, if you don't think our appliance can be configured in under 10 minutes, then in most cases, I'd ask you to put up a small wager. Lucky for you, I'm not sitting right next to you, and I'm not a gambling man. I am, however, ready to go, so let's get started. Alright, so again with the USB configuration, this is the second method in which we can set up any of our appliances here within AppNeta. And again, what we're going to be doing is basically dropping a configuration file onto a USB key that will then be applying to our micro appliance itself. So as you can see here, what we've got set up, this is the M30 appliance. This is our desktop switch. Desktop switch is connected up to our switch closet, and we've got our M30 connected to the desktop switch. So we're all set and ready to go to communicate with the outside world. And as you can see on screen here, I'm actually connected to the PathView Cloud environment, where again we're going to be generating that USB file. So what we'll do again, if you have no appliances set up and you want to go ahead and start the configuration process with the USB configurator, this is what you would come to. Again, you'd have Welcome to PathView Cloud, and you'd have the two options with which to start that configuration process. So we'll go with USB config. Again, we've got the appliance plugged in. The appliance is ready to go, so we'll go ahead and start that process now. So what we have here again is the organization where the appliance is going to be reporting to. We've got one appliance that we're going to be configuring. We're going to go ahead and select a host name, which we'll go ahead and select as M30 test USB. Again, we're going to go ahead and select the time zone. And for purposes here, we'll just leave it as Eastern time zone. And then we're going to go ahead and select a root password. I'm just going to go ahead and leave that as default, which is password. Okay, we'll go ahead and hit next. Now again, we're going to be obtaining our settings utilizing DHCP, so we're not going to change any of that. But again, if you wanted to use static IP, we'll go ahead and select the Use the Following Settings button, and then enter all your IP addressable information. Go ahead and hit next. Now again, we're just in the preview mode. It's just, again, identifying for us that we have our setup the way we want it. Again, we have our host name correct, we have our time zone, and again, the IP address configuration that we're going to be utilizing, which is DHCP. So at this point now, we'll go ahead and generate that file. And what that's done is that's downloaded a file named appliance USB config.zip. Now that's in my download folder. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and open up my download folder. And again, as you can see here, this is the USB config file. And what we're going to do is extract all of that data to our USB key. Just go through here again. The Kingston key has been pre-formatted to FAT32, so we're all set to go there. And we're just going to go ahead and extract those files. So at this point, again, we have all the files that we need to go ahead and actually get the appliance up, line, and running. So we'll go ahead and close all of this here. Take the USB key out, and then we'll go ahead and plug that into the appliance itself. So at this point, again, you heard a beep indicating that the configuration process is started. So what's going to happen now, again, at this point is again, all the configurables that we just defined there will be applied to the appliance. It does take about a minute and a half or so for this process to work. As that's happening, again, the appliance is going to shut off. It's going to restart, and once that appliance comes back up online, you'll hear an audible 2 beeps. Again, indicating that the appliance is back up online and working, and then we'll be able to go ahead at that point and then click the assign licenses that you see here on the bottom of the screen. So right now, all we're doing again is waiting for the audible indication that the appliance is ready to go. Okay, so you might have heard it as I was talking there. We did hear there was an audible chirp, so I went ahead and selected the assign licenses. Now again, similar to the web configuration, everything is pretty straightforward here. We're going to go ahead and select our PathView license, which is the M30. We'll go ahead and hit next. And then we're going to go ahead and select the location. Again, we're testing out of Boston here, so we'll go ahead and select Boston, Massachusetts. We'll hit next. And then last but not least, again, is we'll go ahead and add some paths for our path monitoring. So what we'll do here is again set up a path from our appliance. We'll go out to that same Google service, 8.8.8.8. We'll go ahead and hit next. And again, what our appliance is doing at this point is communicating with that Google service just to make sure that we can communicate. So the path, so again, we'll be able to do that path monitoring for you. And again, you can utilize any IP address, any host name, either within your wide area network, within your local area network, or again, any public target that you want to test to. So again, Google services, Yahoo, if you want to test to like Pandora, for example, and you can do that as well. It's entirely up to you. Again, the world is your oyster, if you can believe that with this path testing here. And again, path name, we're just going to leave it from source to target using the M30. The description, again, just source to target. Business services, again, select whatever is most applicable to what you're targeting. In this case, we're going to be looking at general data, but again, if you wanted to test for voice traffic, we'd use voice over IP. If you wanted to test to a CRM that either is internally hosted or externally provided, you can go ahead and select CRM as your application. Infrastructure, again, what are you testing through? Is it MPLS? Is it a VPN network? In this case, we'll be utilizing just WAN optimization just to look at that wide area network. Now again, if you have groups that you want to classify these paths into, you can go ahead and do that. Again, we'll just go ahead and leave this as default. Again, importance, how important is this path? Really, that's going to be up to you as you guys are configuring the path itself. Then we're going to go ahead and select network type as WAN. We're going to leave our target type to auto. We're going to leave our QoS to none. And then our service quality definition, again, we're going to go ahead and select as WAN here. And again, looking at the definitions themselves, what that means is, again, we're going to be testing for connectivity, latency, loss, and jitter along this network path. So once that's all set, we'll go ahead and hit next. Again, just make sure that that your path has been set up properly. We have from target to destination. The type, again, is WAN, target type, group, and once that's all set, you can go ahead and hit add paths. And again, what this is going to do, we'll add the path to your path list here, and then we'll automatically go into a state where we're defining, again, the path that we're actually testing through. We're going to be looking at all of the layer 3 infrastructure, understanding any performance issues that do or are occurring currently within that network environment. We'll identify those for you, again, where they exist within that path environment, and then be able to provide you some detailed metrics as to go ahead, as to what those issues are, and then on the back side of that, what you can do to mitigate those issues moving forward. So go ahead and take a look at that path itself. Okay, and again, we're looking at the path environment, again, still testing, so as soon as the diagnostic test has completed and we're able to identify the hops for you within the path itself, that will all populate on screen here, as well as the specific metrics that we're targeting: data loss, latency, jitter, round trip time, and then a few others there: voice loss, voice jitter, and overall mean opinion score. So that's it. That's the USB configuration. Again, pretty straightforward. Again, both of these, not only the USB but the web admin as well, can be configured in under 10 minutes, and we're able to provide you some pretty specific details as to the overall path performance that you want to identify as part of your testing and diagnostic process. And there you go. How to set up our PathView Cloud solution in under 10 minutes using the USB key configuration method. Now, this is actually the preferred of our two methods, as it removes human error from the equation. As always, if you have any questions about this or run into any issues as you're setting up your appliance, we've got you covered. Either start this video from the beginning again, or contact our support team via the portal at support.atneta.com. Thanks again for watching, and check back often for future demonstration videos from the Atneta team.